Hello students, lesson number 14, that is measurement of measurement and effects of heat. Under this lesson we have completed the first part of the lesson, that is the sources of heat we have completed. Afterwards relative sensation also we have completed, then heat and temperature, and now we are just these examples also we solved, the conversion of Celsius into Fahrenheit into Kelvin, and types of thermometer and its construction we studied yesterday. Now the next part of the lesson is a specific heat. Okay, so under this lesson first of all we will understand how to find the specific heat. So first of all, the specific heat, and to find the specific heat of a substances we are using the instrument apparatus, and this apparatus is called as a calorimeter. It is called as calorimeter. So just we will start the specific heat. The specific heat of an object is the amount of heat. What is specific heat? The definition of specific heat: the specific heat of an object is amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of the substance through the 1 degree. Suppose unit mass means, suppose 1 kg of water we had taken and we have to rise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. So how much heat is required for that purpose, and that amount of heat is called as a specific heat of that substance. Okay, and this is represented by the symbol small c. This is the small c. It is represented for the which? For specific heat. Now the SI unit is joule. The SI unit is, as you know that the specific heat's unit is joule only. So SI unit is the joule, and it means or kg per degree Celsius. Okay. Then CGS unit is the calorie per gram degree Celsius, is the unit of specific heat. Now suppose Q amount of heat, means heat is here, for heat they use the capital Q. So Q amount of heat is required to increase the temperature of an object of mass small m and specific heat small c. What they told you, the Q amount of heat, that is heat Q amount of heat means it is the mass of that heat is required. Q amount of heat is required to increase the temperature of the object of mass small m and specific heat small c from temperature. How much we have to increase? That is, if you see here Ti and Tf, the meaning of it is that Ti means temperature initial and Tf means final temperature. Initial temperature and the final temperature. I for initial and T for If for final temperature. And this amount depends on the temperature of an object. That amount depends on the, see here what they told you, T1, T initial to T final, and this amount depend on the mass and the specific heat of the object, mass and the specific heat of the object, as well as the amount on the increase in the temperature can be written as. So it can be written as. So as you know that the heat is equal to, what is its formula? M mass, then after C is the specific heat, and then change in temperature, that is T final to T initial, that is the change in temperature. So here different substances have different specific heats. Different substances means every substance specific heat is different than the other. So here it is, we are going to learn more about in the future classes, and the specific heat of few substances given in the table. So first of all, here it is given the specific heat. Formula for specific heat is equal to, heat is equal to, Q is the specific heat is equal to M for mass of a substance into C means specific heat of that substance, and afterwards the change in temperature, that is T final to T initial. This is the change in temperature, and this T final minus T initial means temperature final and temperature initial. It is denoted by delta T. This triangle is called as in scientific language delta. 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 It is change in temperature. For change we are showing this in scientific language. So some substances specific heat is given here. So first of all substances, the first substance is the aluminium, and the specific heat of the aluminium in the gram per degree Celsius inside 0.21. Alcohol, its specific heat is 0.58. Next substance is the gold, and its specific heat is 0.03. That of hydrogen, the specific heat of hydrogen is 3.42. 3.42. The next point is the iron, and the specific heat of iron is 0.11. Copper, the specific heat is 0.09. The specific heat of mercury is 0.03, and the water specific heat is 1. 1.0 means only 1. So these are the specific heat of the sum of the substances. Now here we will understand. Here downside they gave us to find the how to find out the specific heat and all. That example we will see. First of all we will complete this calorimeter. So what is a calorimeter? If you see this figure, you will notice as it is a calorimeter. This figure is a calorimeter's figure. First of all we will just I will tell you the general how it is there, its construction is there. So for that, here one vessel is they had taken. This is called as outer vessel, and here one more vessel is there, and that vessel is called as a inner vessel. The space in between the outer vessel and the inner vessel, the space which is in between the outer and the inner vessel is filled with the the material which is heat resistance material. Okay, from that what happens, heat is not just goes out of the that vessel. Okay, it remains inside only. And with this, here one ring is given, and that heat resistance ring is there. Okay, so here air cavity shown here actually. Okay, sometimes here that material also filling which is heat resistance material. So here air cavity is there here given, and here it is the rubber's ring is there towards the outer. Okay, and above this it has a heat resistance lead also, and in that heat resistance there are the holes. One is for the thermometer hole and another is for the stirrer. Okay, so in this way it is the construction of the calorimeter. So we will discuss how it is given. We have seen that a thermometer is used to measure the, for what? Thermometer used to measure the temperature. It is used to measure the temperature of an object. And calorimeter is used to measure the heat content of an object. To measure the heat content of an object. Okay, then this is the difference. The thermometer used to measure the temperature, and calorimeter is used to measure the heat content of the object. Okay, now using this equipment, just now I explained, that is the equipment. Using this equipment we can measure heat produced or absorbed in the physical or chemical process. In that process inside, how much heat is absorbed and how much heat is released, that we are measuring by using this that is instrument, and that instrument is nothing but which? Calorimeter. Now how is the calorimeter? So calorimeter is shown in the figure 14.5, and it is similar to like a thermos flask. Okay, as you know that thermos flask, how it is there, it can means hot things remains hot for 24 hours and cold things remains cold for 24 hours. This type of construction is there, and I think its construction was over last year for you. A calorimeter has two vessels. Just now I told you, inner and the outer vessel. This is the outer vessel and this is the inner vessel. This is inner vessel. And this way no heat can transfer from inner to the outer vessel. From our inner vessel the heat is not coming out or not get transfer from inner to the outer. Why? Because this from outer to the inner vessel and not from the outer to the inner vessel. Here the space is there, okay, and that's why the heat exchanges or heat transfer is not takes place. Thus the inner vessel is thermally isolated from the surrounding. The inner vessel is made up of copper. See here, this inner vessel is there. It is made up of the material, and that material is called as a copper. Okay, now made up of copper, a thermometer for measuring the temperature, and thermometer is used for measuring the temperature, and stirrer is there for just stir the water or liquid which is present inside the calorimeter. So here it is one place for the stirrer. Just now I told you that this is the place for thermometer and this is the stirrer's place. Now the next point is the, here it is given, water at a fixed temperature is placed inside the calorimeter. So what they are doing inside the calorimeter, the water is kept with a fixed temperature. This temperature is fixed. If you see here this water is filled, okay, and this temperature is fixed. Now this means that the temperature of inner vessel, that of the water in it are same. Yes, the inner vessel that is made up of copper, and this is the outer vessel. That inner water, inside water is filled, and the temperature of this water and the temperature of this vessel is same. Temperature of water and vessel is same. Then when a hot object is placed inside the water, tell me what will happen. If hot object is kept inside this water in the calorimeter, then what will happen? Though as I told you before only, there is a exchange of heat takes place in between the water vessel and the hot object. Suppose this is the hot object, I kept it inside it, I kept inside this calorimeter. Tell me, if it is a hot object, its temperature is more than that of the water, what will happen? The hot object release the energy towards the outer surrounding. And who is there in the surrounding? The water and the vessel. These are present in the surrounding. So the hot object release the energy heat into the water and towards the vessel till the temperature of vessel, the temperature of the water and the temperature of the object will same. That till that time the exchange of heat will takes place. Clear what I told you? When the hot object is kept inside the water, then what happens? The heat exchange between the hot object, water and the calorimeter, and all three reach the same temperature. Means who? The hot object's temperature, water's temperature and the calorimeter's temperature, means that copper object. These temperatures, when it is same, till that the exchange of heat takes place. Now the water and the calorimeter are, and all three reach the same temperature. As the calorimeter is thermally isolated means temperature will not transfer from the inner to the outer medium. From the surrounding, the total heat is lost by the object. Okay, so inside the heat, compared to calculation of the heat, how much heat is, suppose this is the hot object, then the total heat released by the hot object is equal to the heat absorbed by the calorimeter plus heat absorbed by the water. As understood now? How much heat will be there? The heat absorbed by the calorimeter, and heat is what happens? Absorbed by calorimeter and heat absorbed by the vessel is equal to heat lost by the hot object. Okay, now the next point is here same thing, calorimeter and water inside. So total heat lost by the hot object is equals to total heat absorbed by the calorimeter and water inside it. And same thing is happening when a cold object we kept inside the calorimeter. Instead of hot object, what happens? If we keep the cold object inside this inside this calorimeter, what will happen then? If this object is colder, it will absorb the heat from the water from its surrounding and the calorimeter. Means what happens? The temperature of the cold object will increase and the water and the calorimeter's temperature will decrease. And how much is the total exchange of heat is equals to the heat absorbed by the cold object is equal to heat released or decreased by the water and the calorimeter is same. So total heat is same. Okay, so here what they gave you. Similarly, if we put the cold object in the calorimeter, the cold object will receive heat from the water and its temperature will increase, while water and calorimeter, what happens, will lose the heat and the temperature is decreases. Temperature will decrease. Okay, so this is actually happens inside the calorimeter. Then next, so today we are going to stop here only, because this part is there. From here the mathematical operation is there till this, okay, and till here. So that part is very important part, and we will take in one lecture this all part, and that's why today we conclude here only. And today we just all of you revise whatever I taught you today, and the next part of the lesson we will see next lecture. Okay, so thank you and have a good day.